There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Let us bow our heads to acknowledge the holiness of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Almighty God and Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us a new day. Despite the difficulties we encounter daily, we praise and thank you for all the blessings you are pouring out to each of us. We are truly grateful for this wonderful opportunity to gather here today to have this kind of activity in our university. We know that without your blessings, we would not be able to succeed with our plans, particularly for this event. Bestow your grace and divine wisdom to all of us as we fulfill our purpose in the spirit of love and generosity. May you continually bless each one of us, our families, our loved ones, and the university as our place of labor and dedication. May you guide and be with us as we truly believe and pray in your mighty name. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Bayang magiliw, dalas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyag ka ng makiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisiin, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bugaw, may dilagang tula at awit sa pagayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw niyang kailan, pamay di magdidilig, lupa ng araw ng buwan, atit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming bigaya ng pag may mga api, ang mamatay lang dahil sa'yo.
Happy Friday, people! Welcome to Marketing Me. We are live today at Arellano University. Event title, Marketing Me Pre-Employment Preparation Webinar, brought to you by the Arellano University Central Guidance Office in partnership with Jobs180.com. So today we have speakers from Ernst & Young Global Delivery Services, Cognizant, and Sagility. So before we start, the Central Guidance Office prepared a little icebreaker for everyone who is watching us live. Ayan. So don't skip ad. So get the chance to receive GCash load. So here are the mechanics. There you go. So the host will show a series of TV commercial clips, and the players will need to guess the TV commercial. So players will be given 10 seconds to type their answer in the Zoom chat box in our comment section there on Facebook. So players may only start typing their answers after the go signal, alam mo yan. Yan. So 6 winners and each winner will receive a GCash load. So the winner will be decided by no other than Miss Ancheta of the Guidance Office. Yeah. So if you're ready, let's do a trial run. So ready na ba kayo? So thank you for commenting your name and your car. So here's our first trial item 1.
Low energy, matamlay, low focus ka, baka energy gap yan. 4 out of 5 kids have it.
Okay, alarm mo yan.
I am your mother. You listen to me. Stop all that mansplaining. No one's listening. Tell me who gave you the permission to speak. I am your
Yan. So that's our trial run. So ready na ba kayo for the real, may
The energy gap, the energy gap. My love.
Correct. Ayan. So, round 1. So, 6 rounds lang tayo, guys, ha? So, make sure that you maximize the rounds. Okay, let's hit play.
O ano, aabot ka ba o aabutan ka?
I am your mother. You listen to me. Stop all that mansplaining. No one's listening. Tell me who gave you the permission to speak. I am your mother.
Okay. Winner number 1. Correct answer,
Para sa mabilis na ginhawa, mag-Fast Acting Diet Caps. Proven na mas mabilis mag-dissolve kaysa ibang gamot.
Arellano, you guessed the correct answer. So, claiming instructions.
You just stop on my mom. Hey, lady shake up. Hey,
Put in the claim year for grand sample. So that's only at the M this afternoon. There you go. Round 2.
Kulang.
bakit ganon? Sinabon ko naman. Ayaw kuminit. I am your mother. You listen to me. Stop all the mansplaining. No one's listening. Tell me who gave you the permission to speak. I am your.
Alam mo yun.
You
You know the answer.
Sinabon mo, ngunit kulang.
bakit ganon?
There you go. Winner number 2.
Ayaw
Wins the Lumen. Please claim your prize.
You
Please
just
send it to Angela Perez at Arellano. That's edu.ph. Only until 2 p.m. this afternoon.
Shake that bum.
Next round. Ang bilis niyo makahula ng answers, ah. Okay, let's keep it coming.
Di na makatayo, sakit ng tuhod ko. Dahil sa arthritis ko, na-miss ko ang birthday mo.
10 seconds.
I am your mother. You listen to me. Stop all the mansplaining. No one's listening.
Correct
Tell
answer.
me who gave you the permission to speak. You just stop on my mom.
Okay. Winner number 3, Patrick Villarreal. The prize is yours. Claiming instructions right here. Please send it to Angela.pereg at Arellano.edu.ph. Please send this before 3 p.m. today. So, complete name, year, course, branch, and valid Gcash number. So, round 4, 2 more items.
I am your mother. You listen to me. Stop all the mansplaining. No one's listening. Tell me who gave you the permission to speak. You just stop on my mom.
There you go. And the winner is Janeline Kirby.
You just stop on
Please
my
claim your
mom.
prize to Miss Angela. Please screenshot this and send this before 3 p.m. today. Again, the winner is Janeline Kirby. So later, i-run through ulit
You
natin.
just stop on my mom.
Round 5, second to the last item, guys.
Naku, prangkaso na yan.
I am your mother. You listen to me. Stop all the mansplaining. No one's listening. Tell me who gave you the permission to speak. I am your mother. You listen.
Winner number 5, Mr. Marvin de la Cruz. Sir Marvin de la Cruz, please claim your prize. Screenshot this instruction and send this to Miss Angela for 3 p.m. today. Last item po.
Breakfast na!
Nasaan pa ang gatas?
Gatas? Gatas!
your mother. You listen to me. Stop all the mansplaining. No one's listening. Tell me who gave you the permission to speak. I am your. Hey. You just stop on my mom.
Okay. Meron ba nakakuha ng
Shake
tamang sagot?
Hey. Shake that bum.
Let's wait for the winner.
Hey. You just stop on my mom. Hey. Lady, shake your. Hey. Shake that bum.
Wala pa ata makakasagot ng tamang sagot. Wala pang pumapasok na winner.
You just stop on my mom.
You have multiple times to get.
Lady, shake
Pwede pa kayo
your.
mag-guess.
Hey. Shake that bum.
Winner number 6, Marvin De La Cruz again. Okay, so there we have it. Please screenshot the instruction and send to misangela.rx@arellano.edu.ph only until 3 p.m. today. So let's run through the winners. Haiti Zambrano, Vince Delumen, Patrick Villarreal, Jane Caribbean, Marvin De La Cruz, and number 6 winner is also Marvin De La Cruz. Ayan. So there you go. Thank you for participating. Again, you send it to angela.macareeg@arellano.edu.ph. So that's how you claim your prize. Okay? So now, to deliver the opening remarks, we'd like to call on Miss Mildred C. Pangan, RGC, RPM, Supervising Guidance Counselor over at Arellano University 1 Sumulong Campus.
Morning and welcome to our
Hey. You just stop on my mom.
Sorry. Hang on. Let's do it again.
from jobs180.com, fellow guidance counselors, visitors, and most especially to our dear students. Good morning and welcome to our Marketing Me pre-employment webinar. One of the biggest challenges for fresh graduates is finding a job. After the excitement of getting your diploma, you might start wondering why none of the jobs you have applied to have gotten back at you. You need work to get experience, but to gain experience, you need a job. But job hunting is not always easy. Much more challenging for new graduates because your competitors are more experienced, knowledgeable, and skilled than you. Even though you have a degree and general knowledge about your profession, it is not enough for some companies because they prefer candidates with work experience. Looking for a job is just like selling yourself to a company. So how can you make yourself more appealing to potential employers? Actually, there are a few things that you can do to improve your chances of getting hired. First, start by doing your research. Find out what companies are hiring in your field, then tailor your resume and application letter to match their needs. Be prepared to sell yourself in an interview. Interviews are make or break moments in which the hiring personnel form an impression of whether or not you'll be a good fit for their position. This can make a job interview pretty scary, possibly the scariest part of the whole job process. This is the reason why we are conducting this kind of webinar, to help you dear students to be equipped with the basics of employment application and how to maximize your chances of getting hired. A new job means that you are going to be in a new environment where there will be new people and new rules. Being a newbie, you need to accept the fact that you have to start at the lowest step of the corporate ladder and adapt new skills. But keep in mind that this is just a starting point. You will be up there someday. Just work hard and be patient. So, be grateful to the first company who will give their trust in you and will provide you the first career experience, which will also serve as your stepping stone towards your dream job. Learn from the people you work with. Stay positive, focus, and learn from every experience you make, and never stop pursuing your ultimate career goals. But for now, take advantage attending trainings, seminars, and workshops that will provide you new set of skills and opportunities to find possible employment or will give you significant real-world experience in job hunting, like this pre-employment webinar that we are conducting today and the upcoming annual job fair next month. So, prepare yourself to learn and be inspired from our resource speakers for today. Once again, good morning everyone and have a nice day.
Thank you for that, Miss Mildred. So we officially welcome everyone to the Career Talk today. So as usual, we'd like to know where you're from. So keep your comments coming. Just put in your name and course. And please be advised that attendance and evaluation will be released at the end of this webinar. Please tag your friends so they don't miss out on this activity today. So the recordings of this webinar will be posted in the Job 2080 Facebook and YouTube channel and will also be available on the Arellano University Central Guidance page. Yeah. So we would also like to acknowledge Ms. Karina Aquino and Ms. Angela Macaraeg for all the effort and support back end. So thank you for helping us organize this activity. So here's our schedule for this morning. So we will be discussing job applications using the resume link, top skills employers look for when hiring, communication skills for workplace success, and motivation and productivity. So again, please put in your questions so we can ask the speaker after their presentation. So type in your questions, wag kayong mahiya, and we will read it later. So let's go to our first speaker. Our first speaker is Sir Kim Chua. He is the managing director of jobs20.com. He has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. He is a trusted resource speaker and he has done over 1,000 career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. So, Sir Kim, you know the drill. Please take it away. The floor is yours.
Everyone. Good day to all of you. My name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa, baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo. And I'm here to share to you about the most secure tool for job application. This is how you can market yourself more effectively and the different ways to do that. Okay, so let me start. Now, when you apply, you probably have a checklist if you're using the right tool. So just go along with me if you have the right, if you have the same checklist that I have. So ito yung mga things na like kong tinatandaan, no? Will my tool or will the thing that I'll be using help me to stand out? That's the first item that is very important for me. Kailangan mag-stand out ako kasi dami-dami kong kasabayan kalaban sa pag-apply. Another thing in my checklist is that, do I have more than one file? Because oftentimes I have a lot of files. May academic records, may mga government IDs, ang dami mga kailangan hingiin ng mga companies. So I'd like to put them all in one file. And this tool helps me to do that. Okay? Another thing that this tool can do is that it allows me to make the process more efficient. Mas napapabilis yung pag-apply. No? Hindi na napapatagal yung pabalik-balik. So, mas mabilis din syempre tayo maka-move forward. Diba? And another thing that this tool can do is that wala tong bayad. Mukha lang akong salesman pero libre po ito. Okay? So, this tool is absolutely for free. The most important in my checklist is that this tool, okay, makes my information secured. And I think this is the most important question. Do you want your information to be secured? I hope your answer is yes. Okay? And so with that, let me show you ano tong tool na ito. This tool is called Resume Link. Resume Link, by definition, is the most secured tool for job application. Okay? This is a personalized URL. It is a link that anyone can open online anytime, provided that they know the link. So let me use an example. If you are John Santos, just in case lang, your name is John Santos, your resume link would look something like johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. So how do you make one? Okay, how do you make one? Now, the first step is for you to register. This is absolutely for free. Wala itong bayad. Okay? So what do? You go to www.jobsonit.com, and that is where you now register. Okay? As you register, you just simply fill out the information. These are the basic information. You have the account details, you have your personal information, you have your education background, and just in case you have your work experience, whether it's OJT or it's part-time job or whatever yung work experience na yan, then you proceed to that work experience page. Pero pag wala, hanggang dyan na lang tayo sa may education information. Okay? After doing so, you now start to create your resume link. So ano ba ang basihan ng resume link? Kadalasan, ang resume link natin, we base it on our name. We base it on our unique name. Okay, so as an example, if you're John Santos, then you say johnsantos.jobsonit.com. Now, what about during scenarios where you create your resume link tapos may nauna sa inyo? May ibang John Santos, may kapangalan ka, no, nauna sa inyo. Ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon na red na box. Sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Na okay malungkot pag taken na. Okay lang, maging creative lang kayo ng konti. Pwede mo balik na rin. Pwede mo sabihin Santos John. Okay, you can also say Santos J, o kaya J Santos, o kaya JS, di ba? Or SJ. Depende sa link na gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang kapareho kahit kayo may kapangalan. Now, another thing I'd like to emphasize here, wag po kayong OA. Pag gumawa kayo ng resume link, huwag mo gagawin tipong nakalagay, cutie pie, lover boy, Barbie doll, di ba? Because it doesn't sound professional. Imagine going to a company and the HR will ask you, do you have a resume? Tapos sasabihin mo sa kanya, meron po, ang resume ko ay eldiablo.jobsonit.com. Di ba? Baka matakot yung HR sa inyo. So I don't recommend that you do something like that. Just stick to your name. Whatever your name is, it will sound professional. Okay? Now, in creating a resume link, you have to use a valid email. Emails like Yahoo, Gmail, Rocketmail, any email, basta nabubuksan nyo, wag na wag ka lang gagamit ng facebook.com na email. Okay, do not use something like, example lang patrick@facebook.com na email. Do not use patricia@facebook.com na email. Okay, in short, do not use @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com, you will no longer be able to receive notifications being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Okay, so use something that you can open. Why is it important for you to open your email? Because you have to verify your account. Okay, remember, pag nag-verify, yan ang ebidensya na ikaw nag-register talaga. Yan ang proof. Diba? And at the same time, if you verify your account, then you'll be receiving notifications from the companies as well as Jobs on 80. If you do not verify your account, hindi nyo na po marireceive yung mga notification ng mga companies. So, sayang naman, di ba? Might as well verify your account first. Okay? Now, you're done with the first step after you verify. So, ano na ang second step? Ang second step is the most logical of all the steps. You have to complete all the information. Very logical. Sino sa inyo mag-apply sa mga kumpanya, bungi-bungi detalye? Sino sa inyo magbibigay ng resume sa mga HR tapos kulang-kulang details nyo? I don't think you'll do that because you're just wasting your time. Instead, kumpletuhin yung information nyo bago kayo mag-submit dun sa mga companies. Okay? So, step 2, complete the information. And how do you do that? Punta kayo ulit dun sa website, www.jobs180.com, and this time, you don't need to register again kasi may account ka na eh. What you need to do is you have to log in. Okay? Now, as you log in, you start to put your registered email or your resume link and then your password na ikaw lang may alam. Okay? Ganun lang siya kasimple. Now, once you're inside your account, you start to fill in the blanks. Ganun lang kasimple. Fill in the blanks. So, the things that you see here, yung mga contents, napakasimple lang. Yung mga personal details nyo, lagay mo dyan. Diba? All the information na sa tingin nyo relevant, you put it there. Now, I have some emphasis lang on items na madalas na may-miss out ito ng mga aplikante. Ano yung mga yon? Sa contact information, you have to put here all the possible ways na pwede kang makontak ng isang HR. Kagaya ng social media handles nyo. Ba't ko nasabi yan? Because in reality is, pag tinatawagan kayo ng mga HR, madalas hindi naman ina-answer eh. Lalo na pag hindi nyo kilala, pag nag-ring yung phone nyo, hala, sino kaya ito? Di ba, hindi mo kilala. Ano gagawin? Hahayaan mo na lang. Di ba, antayin mo kung may mag-message sa inyo. Eh, paano kung yung HR hindi naman masipag hindi masipag mag-message? Masipag lang siya magtawag. That's why I recommend you put here all the possible means na pwede kang makontak. Kagaya ng social media nyo. Put your Facebook there, yung mga messenger nyo, mga Twitter nyo, iba pang mga paraan, social media handles para mabilis kayo ma-reach out. Diba? Message na lang. Are you available Thursday, 10 a.m., so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying? Diba? So lahat ng paraan, lagay mo dyan. What else do you put here? You also put here yung inyong mga work options. Sa work options naman, you just choose lang, parang yes or no lang yan, parang switch, no? Kung ano yung mga options na gusto ninyo. No, willing to work night shift, willing to relocate, looking for OJT, you can also put it here. Okay? And then in terms of education, obvious naman, yung alma mater nyo, lagay nyo dito. Diba? Yung mga pampakapal ng resume, sa seminars attended, kahit magkopyahan pa kayo ng mga classmates mo, okay lang. Basta lang make sure, alam nyo na pag-usapan doon sa seminar na yon. Pagdating sa certification, ganun din yan. Walang limit sa space yan. Achievements, recommend ko dito is you don't only put yung mga achievement nyo inside the school. Okay? Kasi hindi naman lahat tayo academically inclined. Some of us are not very active sa school, pero active tayo sa mga social civic organization. Diba? So, even if it's outside of the school, you can also put it there. As long as you think it is an achievement, you put it there. Okay? Now, in terms of skills and languages, isa-isahin ko lang yan ha. Sa skills, do not limit your skills dyan lang sa course nyo. Hindi perkat education ng course mo, ang ibig sabihin, ang skills na alam mo lang ay magturo. Hindi perkat accounting ang course mo, ang alam mo lang gawin or ang skills mo ay mag-debit, credit, at mag-balance sheet. Diba? So, marami kang alam na iba pang mga skills na kahit walang connect sa course, you can also put it here. Sample, photography, diba? Videography, diba? And all the other things, calligraphy, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? When it comes to languages, I'm sure alam nyo, 2 lengguwahe na. At the minimum, you know English and you know Filipino. If you know local dialect, to be specific, lagi mo Tagalog, Chabacano, Bisaya, Kapampangan, 'di ba? Ilonggo, wala naman limit sa space eh. 'Di ba? If you know foreign languages, put it there. Chinese, Japanese, French, Vietnamese, kung ano man 'yan, ilagay nyo. Because what you're doing is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to the prospective company. Now, when it comes to references, sigurado naman ako yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang tanong lang dyan, kayo ba kilala nila? Kasi madalas pag tinatawagan namin yung mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. Yung pinakamalupit dyan, hindi talaga kayo kilala. Okay, so please advise yung mga references nyo na ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now, at this point, I'd like to highlight yung mga things that you don't find in a traditional resume. Ano yung mga yan? Diba? Ito yung mga yun. Let me start with the portfolio section. The portfolio section is where you now upload evidence of your skills. And I think with this day and age, dito pumapasok yung efficiency ng ating application sa mga companies. Because oftentimes, when we apply to companies, marami mga hinihingi, mga pre-employment requirements. They will ask for mga documents, mga proof that is showing na yan talaga yung mga skills nyo. So, kung ano man meron yung mga documents, you can now take a picture, you can scan them, and you can upload it here. Example, government IDs. Diba? Meron ka mga transcripts, academic records. Diba? You can put that there. Okay? Kung meron mga medical clearance na kailangan, ganun din. Hindi na kailangan magpabalik-balik sa company. Oh, ayos ba? Oh, ito pa. Diba? But wait, there's more. Ito na yun. Itong isa pang gusto ko i-recommend sa inyo, yung tinatawag natin selfie video. Nowadays, I think, it is not very difficult to create a selfie video. Diba? Ito may TikTok nga kayo eh. Diba? Alam mo naman paano gumawa ng selfie video. So I don't need to teach you how to create a selfie video. What I need to share to you na lang is yung anong kailangan sabihin pagka gumawa ka ng selfie video. Okay, this time, what I recommend is you say something interesting about yourself. Okay? So, you pretend that you're being interviewed by the HR. Diba? Ano yung matatanong sa atin? Why should we hire you? Diba? Tell me something about yourself. Why should we consider you among all the other applicants? O, diba? Ang kagandahan ngayon is you create that video for about 1 minute or less. Hindi kailangan sobrang haba. No? Mga 1 minute lang or less. Pero ang maganda rito is na-evaluate na nung HR yung inyong communication skills. If you can speak in English, then I recommend you speak in straight English. But if you cannot, it's okay as long as you're able to show your personality. You can also showcase here yung mga hard skills nyo. Ano yung mga hard skills? Kagaya ng mga video na panood ko dati, pinakita nila how to use a soldering iron, how to properly handle a welding machine, diba? How to fold table napkins. O, ganun, diba? So, depende kung ano yung mga skills na alam mo at depende kung ano yung nasa field mo rin, diba, na napag-aralan. Diba? So, gusto mo magpakita ka paano mag-balance sheet, pwede rin. O, diba? Again, it really depends on what you wanted to show dun sa HR. Ang point is, you don't need to travel back and forth para lang ipakita on the spot dun sa HR yung inyong hard skills. And, most importantly, hindi na kailangan magkaroon ng maraming aberya, maraming storbo. Diba? Sometimes, when we try to contact you for the phone interview, maingay yung background, hindi marinig. Diba? Mahina signal, maingay, ano nangyari, nasa biyahe. Diba? Or sometimes hindi magtugma yung schedule. At least with that selfie video, it makes the process now more efficient. Now, another good thing with the resume link is that you also upload here your profile picture. When it comes to profile picture, you don't need to go to the studio para magpa-picture. Huwag ka na gumastos. Ang importante lang dyan, tumingin ka sa camera, okay, with plain background, at of course, magbihis ka naman ng maayos, diba? And then, you're good to go. Wag mo gagawin yung mga nasa right side ng screen niyo. Those samples that I'm showing you, it doesn't look professional. Imagine, di ba, yung mga selfie, mga nilagay ng avatar, yan, hindi yan, wag nyo gawin yan. Okay? Wag nyo gawin yan. It doesn't look nice, doesn't look professional. Okay? Now, another good thing pa with the resume link is that meron tayong tinatawag na cover photo. Ayan, pasintabi sa matatamaan. May iba sa inyo nakikinig ngayon, hindi naman kayo gifted with writing skills. Some of us are having a difficult time expressing our thoughts and feelings into words. So ano pwede mo gawin? You can now use those pictures to represent your personality or to showcase yung inyong skills. Example, look at the one on the left, yung nasa baba. Ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, ophthalmologist, optometrist, or eye expert. Yung nasa kanan, yung nasa taas, ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, para siyang admin or clerical work. Or maybe makalat kasi tingnan mo yung lamesa ang kalat-kalat. O, di ba? Again, it depends on the interpretation of the person looking at it. This is an example of someone into HR or maybe into psychology. And this one is an example, it's a very good example by the way, of someone who wanted to say that there is no shortcut to success. Hindi po yan miyembro na Akit Bahay Gang. Okay? Ang gusto niya sabihin, you will be able to reach yung goal mo by taking one step at a time. Oh, di ba? You get what I'm saying now. So I'm showing you good examples para you can draw inspiration from. And I will also show you not so good examples. Ito yung wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayong magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Maglagay ka ng picture mo dyan. Lalaki man, babae in between, okay lang. Ilagay mo dyan. Member man tayo ng LGBTQ+, okay lang. You put it there. At least alam ng HR who to expect. A lot of times, yung mga pangalan kasi very interchangeable nowadays. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think babae ako, di ba? Pag iba nababasa ko mga resume, ano nakalagay sa resume nila? Chris, nakalagay George, Alex, Sam, Nick, di ba? Joey. I would assume lalaki. Yun pala, babae. O, di ba? So that's why you better make sure you put your picture there. And wag naman pugot yung ulo nyo pag nilagay ng picture. Dapat kompleto. Okay? Never leave this blank because if you leave this blank, it will not catch the HR's attention. Trust me. Kung ikaw ang HR, wala ka namang ibang makita dyan, malamang mangyayari dito, next applicant na. Okay? And then if you want to catch the HR's attention, do not create something like this. This is just my opinion. I don't think this looks professional kasi ang dating parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, no? Parang chill-chill, walang pakialam sa buhay. Again, that is just my interpretation. Okay? So I showed you the good and not so good examples para you'll be guided. Now you can just play along later on kung anong sa tingin nyo mas bagay sa inyong background or sa inyong sa gusto niyo ipakita sa personality niyo. Okay? Now let's examine a very good example. Look at this person, itong eye expert. Bakit maganda itong example ng kanyang resume link? Because all the information you're seeing here, kompleto na. 'Di ba? Hindi ka na magpabalik-balik eh. Kung ikaw yung HR, everything that you need to ask or you want to know about the applicant, you already find it here. If you're the applicant, you might as well put everything there para wag mo na antayin pa yung time na hihingiin pa sa'yo ng HR yung mga documents yan. Baka hindi na mangyari yun. Baka may ibang aplikante na mas assertive, nilagay lahat ng mga information na i-process na siya kaagad. Diba? Now, at this point, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, sir, okay nga tong resume link. Kaso lang, baka naman yung information ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman nakalantad na sa buong internet. Ang sagot ay, hindi. Kaya nga tinawag na the most secure tool for your job application. Diba? Bakit? Because you control your privacy settings. Ikaw mismo, as an account user or as a resume link owner, ikaw ang may control ng privacy settings mo. And how will that happen? When you log into your dashboard, as you can see in my screen, when you log into your dashboard, you will find the resume link settings. Pagpunta mo sa settings, mapuntahan mo yung privacy settings at dun ka mamili ngayon ng information you want to show or hide in public. So let me use an example. If you don't want to show your birthday, what do? You turn it off. You don't want to show your references, you turn it off. You don't want to show your address, what do? Turn it off. Diba? So yung mga information na in-off mo, hindi lalabas sa public. Now, if ever lang you decide to change your mind, ang maganda dito sa resume link, updated yan, real time. As in real time. So 5 minutes later, you want to show your birthday, turn it on. What happens? Lahat ng mayroong alam ng resume link mo, alam na niya yung birthday mo. Diba? If 2 days later, you want to show your address, you turn it on, you save your profile, lahat ng may alam ng resume link mo, alam na rin yung inyong address. You get what I'm saying? Diba? So, depende na sa inyo kung ano gusto mo yung on or off. If you want to turn off everything, then okay lang. You can just turn off the button. Enable public resume link, off. Wala nang lalabas sa public. Kahit na anong information. Okay? So, yan ang re-remind ko sa inyo. This, the second step is for you to complete the information. And in doing so, please make sure that your profile is interesting, diba? Yung information mo kompleto at updated ang details nyo para mabilis kayo makontak ng mga HR. Now, we go to the last step. Pangatlo na, last step na to. The last step is for you to submit. Now, how will you submit your resume link to those companies? You might be thinking you want to explore opportunities outside of the Philippines. Maybe you want to join some job fairs later on. You want to apply online. You want to, marami, walk-ins, diba? Depende kung ano, kasi bumabalik na yung face-to-face ngayon. So, lahat ng mga ipapakita ko sa inyo, lahat ito, practical application. Lahat yan, makaka-relate kayo. Ano yung first one? The first one is you go online. Of course. Diba? Yan ang fastest way. You just connect via your phone, via kung ano man gadget mo, go to jobs.et.com, search for companies. And by the way, speaking of search, you can only search for company, tatlo lang pwede mo i-search ha. Search for company name, position title, and location. Doon sa search bar, hindi mo pwede ma-search ang resume link. So example lang, ikaw si John Santos, okay? O kaya ikaw si, ako na lang, Kim, halimbawa lang, subukan mo pumunta sa jobs.et.com, doon sa search bar, type mo doon Kim. Tingnan mo kung may lumabas. Malamang sa malamang, walang lalabas. Unless may company name, position title, or location na may word na Kim. Other than that, walang lalabas dyan. Kasi hindi siya searchable. So, the only time a company would be able to know your information is if and when you give your exact resume link to that company. So, ikaw may control. Ayos? So, tuloy natin. Okay, tuloy natin. So, if you're going to search for companies, what do? Just go to the website of jobs.et.com, search for companies. Kung may lumabas, edi meron. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Diba? Ganun lang yan. Huwag natin pilitin magkaroon ng something kung wala talaga. Diba? Okay, so ano gagawin? Tingnan mo yung mga companies. Kung meron kang type, edi gawin nyo, check nyo yung opportunities. After that, you now submit your information to that company. Okay, when you submit your information to the company, it will ask for your profile, for your resume link and password. So ikaw lang magbibigay ng consent dun sa company. Okay? Now another option is for you to send resumes via email. Now there's nothing wrong in sending resumes through email. Ang tanong dito is, how are you sending your resumes through email? Do you do it like this? Do you say, "Dear HR manager, I'd like to apply for the following position. This is my resume." Tapos mag-attach ka ng Word file, PDF file, or whatever file you have. If you're doing those attachments pa, ang tawag dyan, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Hindi ko sinabing mali. Ang sabi ko lang, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Bakit? Hindi mo kailangan mag-attach anything anymore. If you're going to write an email and send your resume, just simply type your resume link there. "Dear HR manager, I would like to apply for the following position. This is my resume. In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, jobs.et.com, send. Tapos na. Ganun lang kabilis. Diba? Whatever changes you need to do, you put it inside your resume link. You don't have to keep on sending another attachment. Paano kung imagine mo na lang, nag-attach ka ng Word file, diba? Ng PDF file. Tapos nagpalit ka ng address, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Email mo na may HR. "Dear HR manager, I'm sending you my updated resume." Ganun ba? Paano kung 2 months later, lumipat ka ng bahay, iba na address mo, send ka ulit ng bagong resume? "Dear HR manager, I'm sending you my updated, most recent resume." I don't think you'll do that. Kasi kung ganun ang ginagawa mo, sayang sa oras yan, nakakapagod sa part mo, lalong-lalo naman sa part ng HR, mas nakakapagod to keep track kung saan dyan yung pinaka-updated na attachment or pinaka-updated na resume ng aplikante. And this time around, if you have your resume link, all you need to do is just update your resume link at lahat na may alam ng resume link mo, makikita nila yung pinaka real-time update ng profile or information. Ayos ba? Ayos ba? Sige, another one. For those who wanted to use a hard copy, gusto mo talaga may hard copy ka when you apply to those companies, you want to give something, then this is also possible. What do? You go to your dashboard inside your job seeker account, then you can print your resume link. Mamili ka lang, 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, the system will try to compress everything into 1 page. O di ba? Maginhawa sa buhay. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-apply sa mga kumpanya, hindi mo na kailangan mag-prepare ng maraming mga pages. Minsan, di ba, yung mga aplikante, mga 2-3 pages ang isang set ng resume. Palibasa, yung font size 45. Kaya umaabot ng 2-3 pages. O di ba? Pero this time, the system will try to compress everything na into 1 page. Just in case you really want to have a hard copy. O di ba? Tipid. Okay? Another thing pa for me to encourage you to do is you use resume link cards. Resume link cards. Ano tong resume link card? Kung sa mga nagtatrabaho na, ang tawag namin business card. Sa mga nag-a-apply, tawag dyan, resume link card. So in one piece of paper, whether short bond or long bond paper, you can now design it your own way. You can design it, depende kung ano ang gusto mo, pagiging creativity mo. Ikaw bahala. You can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa laki or liit. Diba? Kasi laki ng index card or kasi liit lang ng mga normal business cards natin. Diba? So, depende. So, maybe in one long bond paper, you can make 10, 20 sets of cards na. And so, after you have it printed out, pwede ka na ngayon maggupit-gupit. Gupit-gupit na lang. Diba? 10 or 20, bawat kumpanya, you can now start to give that as a hard copy. Hard copy pa rin naman yan eh. But this time, why am I encouraging you to use resume link cards instead of the traditional long bond or short bond paper? Bakit? Una-una, tipid. Diba? Because of course, right now, eto, tipid. Kasi if you're going to apply to 20 companies, you don't need to print 20 sets of long bond papers. You just need to print one long bond paper and cut 20 small pieces of resume link cards. O, diba? That's for the cost side. Tipid na. Pangalawa, at mas importante, security of information. Diba? You want to have peace of mind. Paano ko nasabi yan? Kapag ikaw yung nagbigay sa isang kumpanya ng long bond paper or short bond paper, example lang, no? It's a traditional resume. And for some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Okay? Nilipad ng hangin. Hindi mo kasalanan. Kasalanan ng hangin eh. Diba? May nakapulot na stranger. May nakapulot na stranger. All your information, alam na nung stranger. Tama? And you cannot deny it because you know what I'm saying is true. Diba? Hindi mo kilala pero alam niya yung details mo. Now, using your resume link card, same scenario. Nagbigay ka ng resume link card sa company, nilipad ng hangin ngayon. May na stranger na nakapulot, okay lang. Bakit? Kampante ka. Kasi yung resume link, ikaw may control ng privacy settings mo. That's why, in your resume link card, what I recommend, you just simply put your name and your resume link. Dalawa lang. That's it. If you want to put your mobile number, it's okay. It's up to you. You can put it there. Diba? Pero ang point ko is, resume link, pwede na siya makita ng mga HR or mga companies na bibigyan mo. Diba? So you have peace of mind now. Okay? So there's a lot of advantages using resume links. In fact, doon pa lang sa privacy portion, panalong-panalo ka na. Ikaw ang may control ng privacy settings mo real time. Pagdating sa speed of hire, it becomes faster and more efficient because whatever you want to show the HR, you just attach it there. Whatever the HR needs from you, they just ask from you. Diba? You take a picture, you scan them, upload it there, and later on, pag okay na, you now turn off yung privacy settings mo. Diba? Or you can remove them in the attachments. Diba? Cost efficient, definitely wala tong gastos, tipid. Diba? If you're thinking, ay sir, paano po yung internet? Kailangan ng pang-load. Pwede ka maging resourceful. Connect lang tayo sa mga libreng wifi. O, diba? And then, pagdating sa flexibility, if you really want to have it printed out, yung inyong resume, you also have the option to print it out. That's like how I showed it to you, 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, it's really up to you. Pero ang point ko is, resume link na lahat yan. Okay? And you can use this to any platform, whatever platform you want to share it to. You want to share it sa mga messenger nyo, you want to share it sa email, sa Viber, sa text, diba? Gusto mo, kaya ko bahala. Diba? Gusto mo, sulat mo sa papel, tapos gawa ka ng airplane, palipad mo, diba? May nakakuha, alam niya yung resume link mo. Ikaw bahala. Okay? Ikaw may control kung sino ang gusto mo bigyan. Okay? You don't have to use your USBs anymore. You don't have to save it sa hard drive. Baka mawala pa yung USB nyo. Delikado. Diba? Wag na. Baka kung ano pa makita ng mga nakakapulot ng mga USB na yan. Okay? So you don't need to worry about compatibility as well because this is compatible to any platform. If you're using Android, you're using Safari, kung ano magamit mo, pwede yan sa kahit anumang version. Okay? And so, just to promote lang, if you want to be part of our team, we're also hiring. Mismo sa jobs180.com, we're hiring for several opportunities, several vacancies yan. Check out na lang yung aming jobs180.com/jobs180 na page. Okay? And by the grace of God, shout out lang ako, right now we have more than 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide. From north all the way to the south of the Philippines. Thank you, Lord. O, diba? Ang kinalat namin, hindi lang virus. Biro lang. Kinalat namin resume link. Yan ang kinalat natin. So, a lot of schools now, including your alma mater, are now using the resume link. So, I hope it doesn't stop here. No? You become a blessing to others as well. If you have friends, you have yung mga relatives mo, na sa tingin mo kailangan nitong tool na ito, you can share it to them. Wala namang bayad eh. Libre naman yan. Okay? And so, as we close this portion, I'd like to discuss some of the frequently asked questions. Baka ito yung mga agam nyo or ito yung mga questions na gusto nyo tanungin. Sagutin ko na muna. Okay? Unang tanong, can I give my resume links to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. Basta alam nila eksaktong link mo at ikaw may control sino bibigyan mo nun. Ikaw lang ang magbibigay. Diba? So, ikaw lang may alam sino binigyan mo. Okay? Now, second question. Is it the same as other job platform kagaya ng JobStreet, LinkedIn, or any other job site? The answer is no. May dalawang pagkakaiba. And let me use an example here. Let me do a shout out to JobStreet, no? Because I think you guys know what JobStreet is. So, shout out lang to them sa mga nasa JobStreet. If you're using JobStreet na resume, you can only apply to companies who are using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. Pero pag gamit mo yung resume link mo, pwede mo yung gamitin kahit na saan, kahit na kanino, kahit na anong platform. Diba? Basta alam ng HR yung eksaktong link mo at ikaw magbibigay nun. That's the first difference. Second difference, if you have already submitted your job street resume to an HR, you cannot change anything anymore. Well, you can on your end, but it will not be reflected on the HR. Hindi siya magiging real-time update. Comparing it to resume link ni Jobs 180, you can update it real-time. 2 days later, 5 minutes later, 6 weeks later, ikaw bahala. Anytime nag-update ka ng information, lahat na in-update mo, dagdag bawas, will be reflected real-time across all na may alam ng resume link mo. Okay? So those are the two major differences. Now, pagdating sa pangatlong question, yan ang pinaka-simpleng tanong. Can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na job application platform. Okay? So, use your resume link. Number 4 question, I think is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? The answer is every time. Every time na meron kang babaguhin. Okay? Every time na meron kang babaguhin. Lalong-lalo na yung contact details mo. Kasi imagine, binago mo lahat. Binago mo yung work experience mo, nagkaroon ng awards, nagkaroon ng achievement, hindi ka naman makontak ng HR. Wala rin, di ba? Sayang din. That's why you have to update yung contact details nyo. Okay? And the last question is just a trivia. Trivia lang, palaisipan. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around 180 degrees. And in case you're wondering, no, you wanted to raise a concern, bakit hindi po 360? Kasi pag 360 degrees, you only go back to where you started. Ikot ka lang na ikot, wala kang pupuntahan. 'Di ba? Bumabalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Oh, ha? Oh, 'di ba? Char lang 'yan. Okay? So, anyways, again, kung meron pa kayo ibang questions, just in case you have questions, okay, you may send those questions here through our website, www.jobs180.com. You can also email us or email me here sa info@jobs180.com. You can like us on Facebook, also on Twitter, Instagram, pati na rin sa TikTok. Okay, so check us out on all our social media platform. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa. Okay? Isang magandang araw po sa inyo lahat. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Sir Kim. So to everyone, the floor is now open for questions. Unfortunately, Sir Kim won't be able to join us for the question and answer today, but I'll be here to answer your questions. So just a reminder, I would like to invite everyone to join us for the career fair that will be on April 12 and April 13. So here is the schedule. So on April 12, the attendees will be from Arellano University main campus and Jose Abad campus. So if you're from Arellano Pasig, AU Plaridel, AU Jose Rizal campus, you will be attending the April 13 career fair. Ayan. So please be advised of your schedule. So again, that's April 12 for AU Main and AU Jose Abad campus, and April 13 for AU Pasig, AU Plaridel, and AU Jose Rizal campus. So please be advised of your schedule and please take note of the Zoom link that will be released once the event is near na. So there you go. So to everyone, making sure that you have no questions. If you do have questions, please send it to our Facebook page. And we have a customer support team on standby to answer your questions. Ayan. So, we will see each other on the virtual career fair on April 12 and 13. So, please get ready and please make sure that you have a complete resume link because that is what you will use to apply to different companies on that day. Ayan. So, thank you all. So, now we would like to present the certificate for Sir Kim. The certificate reads the Arellano University Central Guidance Office. Certificate of attendance is given to Sir Kim Brian Chua for his invaluable contribution as resource speaker in the webinar entitled Marketing Me Pre-Employment Preparation held via Facebook Live given this 24th day of March 2023, signed by Ms. Fe Caridad Gaycorioteca, AVP for Student Personal Services. So thank you so much, Sir Kim. And now we move forward to our next speaker. So our next speaker will be discussing top skills employers look for when hiring. So this will be discussed by Ms. Katrina Camille Gaspar, Supervisor for Engagement, Candidate Engagement over at Inspiro. Miss Kat graduated from Our Lady of Fatima University with a degree of Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. Before joining the industry, she was in the medical field but got interested in human resources. That is why she pursued a career in the BPO industry under talent acquisition team. She has been with Inspiro for 7 years and is currently managing the employee referral program of the Mandaluyong site of Inspiro. So, Miss Kat, we give you the floor. Please take it away.
Hi guys, good afternoon. I'm Kat from Inspiro. So today we will be discussing top skills employers look for. So let's proceed with the slide. So okay, let's first define what is skill. Okay, it says here that skill is the learned ability to perform an action with determined results with good execution, often within a given amount of time, energy, or both. So these are your talents that you use in order to do your job or a certain task. Oftentimes, employers check on your skills so they can determine if you should move to the next process. So now I will be giving you the top skills that we look for. So by sharing this, I hope that you guys will showcase your skill, or this will help you showcase your skills to your future employers. So first on our list is communication skills. So usually, pag sinabi natin communication skills, people are thinking that this is being good or fluent in English, but actually it's not. It's actually the ability to communicate effectively, may it be verbal or written, and being clear and concise about the message that you want to relay to the receiver. So, this is actually one of the most important things that we are looking for, especially now that we are working from a work from home setup, or most of the companies are working from home. We need this to make sure that nothing is lost in translations, because usually problems occur if we have a poor communication in organization. So when we talk about communication, it's not just about speaking. It also includes listening, feedback, writing, and of course your nonverbal gestures. So, say for example, you will be applying for a sales or marketing field or even a managerial position. Employers usually look for those candidates with good communication skills, since you will be dealing with different kinds of people. But then, regardless of the position you are applying for, you need to be able to communicate effectively with your coworkers, your supervisor or superiors, and your clients or your customers. Okay. So next on our list is the critical thinking and problem solving skills. So critical thinking is the ability to analyze and evaluate an, an issue to form a judgment, and this is a key component of problem solving. So most of the time, there are unexpected problems that will arise at work, which requires quick response or resolution. That is why being able to solve the problems immediately is an important quality that we are looking for. This is also the reason why some other employers ask situational questions during the interview, because we want to gauge your critical thinking and problem solving skills. So, wag nating iisipan na pinapahirapan tayo or pinapahirapan ka nung nag interview sa'yo dahil sa mga questions na meron siya. It's just our way of checking your critical thinking and problem solving skills. Okay? And then third, of course, is your leadership skills. So This is actually important also. Another thing that we are looking for, you may be applying for a entry level position, but as early as your initial interview, we are checking if you can be a future leader. If you will notice during the interview, we are asking if you have experience handling a team or being appointed as a leader, because we want to see how you assign or how you delegate tasks or how you meet the deadlines that are given to you, because part siya para alam namin na itong hina-hire naming tao is pwede naming ma matulungang maging successful and to become a leader in the future. So actually, most of the companies, especially in our company, we prefer promoting our current employees rather than hiring externally, kasi mas na-hone na sila, mas kilala sila, and mas kabisado ni employer kung ano yung skills na meron tong taong to. So, make sure that during your interview, you showcase your leadership skills. Some of the questions that we might ask you during the interview to check your leadership skills is if you how can you motivate your team, or can you tell us a time when you demonstrated leadership skills. So by asking that question, we can gauge if you have a leadership skill, right? And then another thing that we are looking for is actually teamwork skills. This is actually an important asset to any employee. Again, regardless of the position, employers want to hire team players. They don't want to work with people who are difficult to handle or difficult to work with. Siyempre, sino ba naman yung may gustong makipagtrabaho sa taong ganon, di ba? If you will remember during your time na gumagawa kayo ng thesis, we are in a group. Siyempre, dyan sa group may mga taong hindi gaano nakikipag-cooperate. Ayan yung mga tipo ng teammates na sasabihin na magbabayad na lang sila and then the rest kayo nang bahala. So parehas din siya when you are working na. We don't want those kind of people na walang mako-contribute sa team. So during your interview, make sure that you show that you can work with different variety of people. You are dependable, cooperative, and work well with others. Some questions that we can ask is, how do you feel about working in a team environment? Or you will be asking you to provide example of a time that you showed your teamwork skills. Okay. Next is the technical skills. So actually, technical skills, this will vary depending on the job that you're applying for. This actually requires a knowledge on a certain application, software, or a certain job. These can also be seen if you were able to complete a higher level of education or a mastery on a certain field. So, for example, if you are a graduate of an IT course or engineering, during the interview, you might want to share the skills that you master during the time that you are studying. Or, example, if you are a doctor, you can share your specializations. Say, for example, your specialization is on pedia or ortho or cardio, so things like that. But again, technical skills will vary depending on the job that you are applying for. Next one, we have the interpersonal skills. This is actually known as people skills. So this allows you to effectively interact with others both in and out of your organization. So some of the interpersonal skills that we are checking is your flexibility. We usually ask if you're flexible when it comes to hours of operation, if you can work during daytime or nighttime, or if you can work during holidays or weekends. So that's how we check your flexibility. We are also looking for the team building, and we are checking if you can ask and provide feedbacks with your teammates or your superior. Of course, we are also looking for your humor, your patience, your tolerance, and your sensitivity. So some questions that we ask in line with the interpersonal skills, or would you like to be a part of a team, or do you want to work alone, or how will your former employer will describe you? So those are the two questions, sample questions that we usually ask to check your interpersonal skills. So seventh skill is digital literacy. So in the world that we live in, it's very, very important now that you are knowledgeable when it comes to digital world. So being knowledgeable how to use computers, online research, applications, or specific softwares are expected from you guys. So anything that's related to digital. Since I've mentioned nga kanina that most of the companies now are hiring for work from home setup. So it's really an advantage if you are knowledgeable in digital. So say for example, you are applying as a recruiter. um, you should be updated with the current trends on how to look or search for an applicant. Or you should at least know how to use the basic Microsoft applications like Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and the likes. And also, as simple as using the online platforms such as Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, or anything that we use for video conferencing, you must be aware of that or know the basics on how to use it. And of course, how to use social media effectively if you are actually applying or working for a marketing field. But if ever, guys, that you don't know something, make sure that you convey your willingness to learn that thing. And you also need to be updated on the new trend when it comes to digital world. So you need to research, read a lot of articles regarding with the new trend. So it will help you hone or enhance your digital literacy skill, right? On to our eighth skill, it's work ethic. So, work ethic is actually a set of moral principles or values that an employee abides by and uses in their job performance. It actually covers an employee's behavior and attitude towards their job, career, and the workplace. So, every employer wants their employees to have a strong work ethic and be professional no matter what position or no matter what job it is. You are expected to be professional and to have a um, strong work ethic. So we are checking your discipline, integrity, accountability, initiative, and your commitment to the company. So we want to know if we can trust you to perform your duties, to meet your deadlines, and of course, work well with others. So remember that having a good work ethic is very, very important. And then I think the last one is time and stress management. So here we are checking if you can manage your time and be as productive as possible. You should also know how to prioritize effectively. So during the interview, you can share your study habits if you don't have your work experiences yet. But for those experienced students or applicants, you might want to share how you prioritize things, how you work when you're stressed, because we want to know how you plan, how you strategize, how you set your goals. And then, if you will also notice during the interview, we are asking you how do you manage your stress, because we want to know your ability to work under pressure since sa work from time to time may mga problems na lumalabas. So, mas stress ka talaga. So, we want to know if you can handle the pressure. So, speaking of prioritizing, I would like to quickly give you a little tip on how to prioritize your tasks or things that you need to do. So, first, you need to have a list of all the things that you need to accomplish for the day. And then after that, prioritize it based on the importance and urgency of the task. So the first thing that you need to accomplish are those matters that are important and urgent. And then the second things that you or matters that you need to accomplish are those important but not urgent. And then the third ones the third one are those tasks that are not important but urgent. And lastly, are those not important and not urgent. So for this category, the uh, time and stress management, we usually ask you how do you prioritize your tasks or how do you manage your deadlines. And we are asking you to describe how you manage your stress at work. That will help us determine your time and stress management skills. So since this is the last, so I hope that you remember these 9 skills that we usually look for a candidate during the interview. Of course, there are still other skills that a company look for, but it will really depend on the position you're applying for. So it's best if you research before your interview because the great time to market your skills is during your initial interview. Try to mention all the skills that is relevant to the job that you are applying for, and you might want to think of the real life examples wherein you apply those skills and how you achieve success. Another tip is during your interview, if you were asked ng situational question, try to answer in a STAR method. S stands for situation, T for task, A for action, R is your resolution. You need to state what happened, what is the problem, and then task, ano yung task na naka-assign sa'yo or na-delegate sa'yo, and ano yung ginawa mo for the action, and what is your resolution or what is the outcome. So you can really highlight your skills. So now that you have an idea of which skills employers look for, I hope this will help you land the job that you wanted. So that's it for me. Thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you for that, Miss Kat. So now I'll just present the certificate to Miss Kat, and then we'll answer some questions. Okay, I read the certificate. Arellano University Central Guidance Office awards the certificate of attendance to Miss Katrina Camille Gaspar for her invaluable contribution as resource speaker in the webinar entitled Marketing Me Pre-Employment Preparation held via Facebook Live given this 24th of March 2023, signed by Ma'am Fekar Coriotica, AVP for Student Personal Services. So, Ms. Kat, thank you so much for being here this morning. Ayan. So, now to answer some questions from the presentation a while ago. So, here's the question. Bilang isang graduating student po, ano po yung maa-advise niyo po sa amin na pinakaunang bagay na dapat po namin paghandaan para po sa AU Job Fair? Ayan. So, free po ba ang paggamit ng jobs180.com sa paggawa ng resume link? So, to answer your question, opo, free po. Wala pong bayad. So, pwede pong gumawa for free in your own time at i-complete nyo po siya in your own time. So, ano po yung una nyong gagawin to prepare for the AU Job Fair on April 12th? So, first things first po, kailangan po, complete na po yung profile niyo or complete po yung resume niyo. So, kapag kompleto na po yan, alamin po natin kung saan po natin gusto mag-apply. So, on that day po, may mga companies po and they will be introducing their companies to the students. So, you take down notes kung ano po yung mga companies na sa tingin mo babagay sa'yo. Ayun. So, kung meron ka rin mga skills, i-ready mo na rin yon at make sure on April 12 you have good internet connection para you can confidently nandun ka sa job fair at confident ka na hindi ka mawawala ng connectivity on that day. Ayan po. Ayan. So, for the rest of the questions, we will reserve it Ayan, para sa ating next speaker. So, I'll introduce the next speaker. So, here to discuss communication skills for workplace success, we have Miss Mariel December Palomares, Senior Associate for Talent Attraction and Talent Acquisition over at Ernst and Young Philippines. Ms. Yel has been in the industry for more than 10 years, handling different facets of HR. She started with outbound sourcing, then moved to end-to-end recruitment processing to facilities, and now to employee relations to talent marketing, and now handling university partnerships and linkages. We give the floor, Miss Miss Yel, sorry. Hi, Miss Yel. Good
Hi,
morning.
Shari. Long time no see. Good morning.
Let's test your screen,
Sure.
your
Just
deck for
allow me
today.
to present.
Okay. Ayan,
Okay, I hope
so,
you can see it on your screen right now.
ayan, ma'am. Loading na lang po. Ayan, ma'am. So, ma'am, it's up. So, I'll leave it to it and I'll be back after 20 minutes for the
20
Q&A.
minutes.
Thank you, Miss
Okay.
Yel.
11:35. Okay. So, hi everyone. Good morning. I hope you were able to take your breakfast. And again, I'm Yel from Ernst and Young Global Delivery Services, or EY, and I'm here to at least give you tips, the top 10 communication skills for workplace success, so that in time, if you're already part of a company, part of the industry that you chose, okay, then you'll be able to know your way around the office, right? Though I'm sure these things are, you're very much familiar with these things, but of course I'm here to at least remind you and reiterate the importance of the communication skills that will help you succeed in the career path that you will be choosing. Okay, so first tip. So, active listening. I'm sure you always hear this even in school, at home. Okay, so active listening means paying close attention to who you're communicating with by engaging with them, asking questions and rephrasing. So this is very important, especially if you're going to attend an interview, whether virtual or on site, or face to face. Because sometimes there's this certain error that candidates commit when they're too nervous. They tend to misunderstand the question or miss out on the question. My tip with that is you can always ask for them to repeat the question in a nice manner. Okay, so you can tell them, for example, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you repeat the question, please?" Something like that, rather than answering without really understanding or without hearing the entire question. So that's very risky because you might answer na very far-fetched dun sa question itself. So when you practice active listening, it also builds respect, okay, with coworkers and increase understanding in the workplace, especially if the type of career that you'll be choosing is a certain position wherein someone will do client presentations, you'll deal with different members of the group, especially if it's with sales, right? If there's a rebuttal from the client, then the prospective client, and then you were able to catch that certain rebuttal, you weren't able to answer it in a quick manner and in a concise manner, then you might lose that client, right? So as you actively listen, focus on the speaker and avoid distractions, especially checking your mobile phones, right? So even in meetings, one tip again, another tip, if you're in a meeting, make sure to take down notes. Always make it a habit to take down notes, whether or not it affects you directly. As long as they send you the invite, it means somehow you need to know the certain content of that meeting or the certain discussion that will happen during the meeting. Okay, so don't feel like, 'di naman ako kailangan diyan, eh. Parang hindi ko naman kailangan 'yan, or hindi naman ako importante diyan, or wala naman akong connect diyan. Don't ever feel that way. So it will always be best to take down notes, whether you're the old school type that you need to have a notebook or a planner, or let's say OneNote, or let's say Trello, or whichever you're using. Just make sure that you're taking down notes. Okay? So that, because sometimes there are certain situation that your boss will suddenly ask at the end of the meeting. I experienced this a lot of times already. Okay, then after the meeting, saka sasabihin sa'yo, Ayal, pasend na lang ng minutes ha. So ikaw, siyempre, you'll be shocked. You didn't know that you'll be sending the minutes of the meeting. When you say minutes of the meeting, what took place? What was the things that were discussed? What were the key asks? When you say key ask, what are the request or the action points that will be that are requested from this department? What if the meeting ended and then your boss asked you, can you please send us the minutes of the meeting? Then you didn't take down any notes, 'di ba? So you'll be lost. You won't be able to do it. Because and then they will caught you that you're not really listening, that you're scrolling sa phone mo while the meeting is ongoing. So of course you don't want to experience that, especially if you're less than a year in a company. You're just in the position wherein you're trying to prove yourself, you're trying to introduce yourself, who you are, what you can do, your capabilities, right? And then they'll discover, ito palang si ganito, hindi naman niya nakikinig eh. Hindi naman mukhang interested, right? So, especially if it's a meeting that you'll be able to meet executives for the first time or bosses from like different sections or different departments of the company, then you were caught in the middle of a situation that you cannot solve alone because you weren't able to jot down everything that took place, right? So, you don't want that. Improve your active listening skills by paying attention to other people's facial expressions, body language, and tone of voice. Okay, so you'll know based on the tone of voice, especially if you're going to, let's say, on sales or something, if the client seems interested, if your prospect seems bored with what you're saying. Okay, because if you can listen to those types of, let's say, tone of voice or body language, they seem bored with your presentation. You can input like maybe that's a perfect time to have like an icebreaker, right? Rather than continuously talking and talking and talking, and you ended up with no one's really listening na at all because they're because of the content of the talk. It seems it's very lengthy, it's very wordy with the presentation. Okay, so instead of preparing what you will say next, focus on what the other person is saying and how they are speaking. Okay, so again, if you need to clarify something, if you need to ask them to repeat what they just said, that's better. Another tip that I can give you is that ask follow-up questions. Okay, actually, even in real life, even at home, you can use this. If if let's say your mom or your dad is trying to tell you something, or you have an errand to do. Okay, that also applies in the work setup, right? If your boss is trying to um, ask you a certain project or assign a certain project to you, it will be best if you list down the questions first before the meeting itself. Think what are the possible scenarios. Think about the worst case scenarios. Think about the choke point that might happen, right? And rephrase. So, for example, during an alignment call of a certain project, perhaps you can list down what will be the expected timeline of this project. When do you expect us to submit this? If we have questions, to whom do we need to send the email to? Something like that. So you need to list questions in advance so that during the meeting you can already ask that. Okay, and they will feel that you're really interested, that you're really into the project or into that certain task that you were given, right? And you will of course leave a good impression with the rest of the team. Next is communication method. Okay, so number two, using the right way to communicate is an important skill. Okay, so right now people communicate in terms of emails, letters, phone calls, and actually not too much of letters already, not unless it's a formal letter. Phone calls, in-person meetings, or actually messaging, different messaging if you're into WhatsApp, Discord, Viber, FB Messenger, whatever that is. Okay, so make sure that, of course, when you communicate, you need to consider your audience. Okay, so if it's a formal setup, normally it's via email or via phone call or text, And if you, let's say, have a meeting with a certain client, with a certain colleague or whatnot, you can also ask them if it's, let's say, an external or a third party vendor, meaning it's outside, that person you're talking to is not an employee of the company. You can also ask them, which mode of communication do you prefer? Diba? Do you prefer that we'll continue exchanging emails, or will it be easier for you if we just create like a Viber group or a messenger group? Okay, because sometimes they do that. It's actually they will be relieved when you do that, because they have this option to choose whichever communication method they think best fits them. So most of the time, people chooses instant messaging than emails and text messages nowadays. Okay, based on my experience. So people create Viber groups, they'll just add you, or Messenger, right? So that they can at least check your messages real time, especially if it's an urgent task. And at the same time, consider what information you want to share. Okay, this is very crucial in with companies nowadays. Make sure that information that you are sharing to clients or to external vendors, third parties, is not a confidential information. Okay, based on the Data Privacy Act and all, you need to make sure that you know what to share and what not to share. Okay, and again, the best way to share it. So there. Third is friendliness. Okay, this is really basic, but of course, nowadays people are easily being irate, are short-tempered. So as you notice, even in social media, right? People always had the opinion. People always lashes out or cancel people. So make sure that in the office or in the workplace, if it's let's say your first year in the office, right? That you foster trust and understanding. Okay, this will happen if you have honesty and kindness in your heart. So try to communicate with a positive attitude, keep an open mind, and ask questions to help you understand where they're coming from. Sometimes they might not have the same beliefs that you have, but it doesn't give you the right to cancel out their ideas or to shut them out. So small gestures such as asking someone how they're doing or smiling as they speak, especially if you're new to the team, make sure that you'll be able to blend with your team, not to the point that, of course, you will change your principles for them. That's a different matter. That's a different thing. Just make sure that you'll, greet them once in a while, especially right now. Offices are in hybrid setup. So every now and then, once, twice a week, you'll be meeting them. So don't forget, just smile if you're not the type who talks a lot. Okay, or just say hey, say hi during lunchtime. Perhaps you can, if you can, if you're willing and you're comfortable with it, you can bond with them. Parang, hey, saan kayo kakain ng lunch or something? Uy, anong lunch mo? Little talks like that. Sometimes it starts, it's a starting point of a friendship. But of course, you didn't go to that office to make friends, right? You went there to build your career, to earn money for your future, for your family. Just always, perhaps if I have a personal experience that I hope that will help you out. For me personally, again, um, it might not apply to you or you might not agree. But for me, one of the things that one of my bosses told me that up until now I still remember, that was several years ago, where I was trapped within doing the right thing and doing and avoiding conflict with my colleagues, for example. Just keep in mind that though you're friendly, you're honest, you're kind, you're warm, you're cheerful, you didn't go there to make friends or to have a barkada, right? You went there to work, to be a successful person in that field, and to create financial freedom or financial stability for you, for your future family, or for whoever is you're supporting, or for yourself, to gain to gain happiness, right? Success, fulfillment. Okay, so just make sure that you know, of course, when to draw the line. Okay, but again, you can practice friendliness by remembering small, thoughtful details, like, for example, their birthdays. I actually had this way back when I was in this company. I even had a even write it in my planner and put it like in a post-it note just near, just within my station, the birthdays of my teammates, just so I won't forget. Because I'm not really I'm not the type of person who remembers birthdays all the time. So, and people don't really put in Facebook their birthdays all the time as well. So I just put in there so that I can greet them, right? It might be simple, don't need to buy a gift, but still greeting them, that it means that you remember and that somehow they're important to you, right? Or even past conversations. Oh, I remember, how was your kid? 'Di ba? Pag example, nag-SL kasi may sakit yung anak niya. So you can always ask them, 'di ba? Kumustahin mo? Uy, I heard that your kid was confined. How is she? Or how is he? I hope she's doing well. Parang what happened? It means that somehow you're concerned. Especially, just make sure that the delivery and the timing is right. Okay, we don't want to seem like we're prying or we're like just chismosa who want to know more. Right? Just make sure that the topic is um, you know timely, and that you have this certain somehow connection already for you to ask them. And if they say no, it's okay, or I don't want to talk about it, maybe it's that um I mean that what happened was really sad and they want to talk about it, then don't push it. Okay? So there. Next is confidence. So in the workplace, people are more likely to respond to ideas that are presented with confidence. Okay, sometimes this is actually the technique of people who are not able to prepare ahead of time. 'Di ba? Parang, basta ano ka lang, sound confident ka lang, maniniwala sila dyan sa sinasabi mo. Minsan ganun. 'Di ba? But of course, it's not a good practice. Because just saying that, confidence really brings out a different effect. Okay, so there are many ways to appear confident, including making eye contact. Okay, sitting up straight with your shoulders open, meaning you're not like slouching like that, it's like you're being bored or sleepy. So preparing ahead of time. Okay, so if you have presentations, make sure that you're able to prepare at least a week before that. If it's really a lengthy one and a very important project in a client presentation, a do or die presentation, normally people prepare a month or two, because they need necessary research, they need actual numbers. So as long as we're able to prepare ahead of time, do your necessary pre-work, then you're good to go. Okay, so your thoughts are polished because di ba parang sa school din, di ba, if you have projects, if you have your thesis, kailangan sabi nga nila kahit balik ta rin, kabisado mo yan kasi ikaw ang gumawa niyan. So not unless you had someone or you paid someone to do it for you, that's a different thing. Okay. So, because sometimes there are like third party vendors who does that, especially if it's like surveys and stuff. But if it's not like that, if you were the ones who were assigned and were expected to do that certain task or project, you need to make sure that from the bottom up, you were able to, do everything, know everything, read everything, understood everything. Okay, reading something and understanding something is different. Okay, so keep that in mind. And at the same time, yeah, communication is also helpful in the job interview process. Okay, how could you sound confident during an interview? You need to practice. Okay, practice is, you know, um, the key to that. Because and of course, reading the job description, right? Because most of the final interview questions, most of the time, they rely on the job ad. So they want to know that you really understood the role, you know what you're expecting, you know about the company, you know the vision, the mission, where it's located, even how the company name is pronounced. Okay, like us, sometimes were able to interview people who calls our company A. Okay, so it's not A, it's EY because it stands for Ernst and Young. Okay, so if at the start of the interview you don't even know how you need to pronounce or you should pronounce the company, then it might affect the result of the interview. It means that you didn't do your research, right? Number five, top five, sharing feedback. Okay, so this is a tricky thing, especially if you're a sensitive person. Feedback might make or break you. So if that's the case, then you need to make sure that you understood the feedback and have an open mind to it. So during in the workplace, feedback is really given in a regular basis. Okay, it might be like in an email form, on a report form, or they'll be talking to you directly. Okay, sometimes I admit it might hurt at times, since especially if you did 100 or 200% of your effort, but still you weren't able to make it. But and feedback, that's our that's the material that we use to grow. Okay, to know our strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so make sure to take notes, remember those certain problems you experience, how you should have dealt with it, so that if you're given the same task or same project or somehow related to it, then you'll be able to know things that you need to avoid. Okay, kasi syempre it's different if you made mistakes in your first time, since you're new to the company, versus it was given to you na before and then you made the same mistake. So it means that you weren't really in maybe you're not really into the project or into the task because you didn't make an effort to learn, or to make sure that this time around you'll be able to do it perfectly, right? Next is volume and clarity. So when you're speaking, it's important to be clear and audible. And if it's not a face-to-face thing, make sure to check if you're clear and you're audible with the audience that you're speaking to. Because you might assume that if you assume that you're clear, you assume that they can hear you. However, they don't. So you'll be missing the point. You won't be able to put your message across. Okay, so maybe you need to adjust your speaking voice, or if say your speaking voice is too loud. Sometimes that happens. Okay, I'm guilty of that. Sometimes if I'm too excited, I tend to be a bit louder than the usual. Okay, so make sure that you practice your tonality. Okay, so and the loudness, softness of your voice, because sometimes it might seem disrespectful, or you might sound a bit arrogant instead of confident in certain settings. So you need to make sure to read the room, see their nonverbal cues. Do they seem like interested? Do they seem offended? Okay, something like that. So check your pitch, if it's going up and down, or you're being monotonous already, right? So you need to check that out. Empathy. So having empathy means that you can not only just understand but also share in the emotions of others. Okay, so this is really important, especially if there are like sensitive issues or incidents, right? So, for example, if someone expressing their anger or frustration, empathy can help you acknowledge and diffuse their emotion or de-escalate the situation. Hindi yung galit na nga, parang sabi nga nila, ginatungan mo pa. 'Di ba? So, lalong nagalit. 'Di ba? So, if your colleague is already frustrated, medyo, sabi nga sa layman's terms, parang agre na. 'Di ba? Wag mo na siyempre dagdagan. Make sure to help in terms of helping them be calm, understand the situation, or at the same time, wag niyo muna i-push. Wag mo muna i-push na, ikaw kasi mali ka naman talaga. Basta talagang lalo magagalit. So make sure na, oh, I'll just get you some water, give them water, o kalmahan mo lang. Di ba normally we use that term, o kalma, something like that. Breathe in, breathe out, ask them to, count 1 to 10. Um, and then perhaps you can ask them to, come on, let's just get grab a coffee or grab a milk tea or something, then let's talk about it. Allow them to vent out, let everything out, just listen. Okay, and then so that they can relax afterwards, and perhaps if they're already calm and collected, then you can go back to work, and you'll be feeling better. Okay, so yun, and to make sure that you'll be able to understand if they're feeling positive or enthusiastic, so that you can support their ideas and projects. Okay? So pag mainit na yung ulo, wag niyo munang kokontrahin to avoid conflicts, because it might escalate and turn into something that you don't want to happen. Diba? You might be reported to HR or something. So next is respect. Knowing when to initiate communication and respond. Again, there are times when you just need to listen, take down notes. There are times that they'll be asking you for your point of view. Okay? Usually, 'di ba, you use like parang ano ba 'to, mamaro naman 'to. 'di ba? So or Jollibee Jollibee naman to, bida-bida. Okay? So of course you don't want to be labeled in your first year in the office, right? So know when to speak up, know when to stay quiet, know if it's a time to ask questions. Okay, so because there's always a time that the speaker will ask questions, or there'll always be a Q&A portion if there's a meeting, right? So don't interrupt, especially if someone is presenting, if they don't have that certain leeway yet, because they will be asking, do you have any questions, or they will tell you, okay, I'll be presenting this deck, and then these slides, then I'll be giving 10 to 15 minutes Q&A portion at the end of the presentation. Okay, so hintayin mo na matapos. Okay, so there. Also, respectfully communicating also means using your time with someone else wisely. Even if it's just dialing in 5 minutes, 10 minutes earlier. Okay, please practice to be on time, if not earlier than the usual schedule, because it's a sign of respect. Especially if you're like in EY, we're dealing with international clients, hindi Filipino time yung ibang tao. So if they say 10, it's 10. So if it means that if it's 10 a.m., you need to be in the call 10 minutes before 10. Okay, not 10:01 or 10:03. And if let's say you're stuck in another meeting, make sure 5-10 minutes before 10 a.m. you're able to inform them. I'm sorry, I'll be a bit late. I'm still on another meeting. Something like that. It means that you show that you respect their time. Okay. And staying on the topic, it's not a time for chismes or kwentuhan if it's a meeting. You need to make sure that there's an agenda, stick to that agenda so that you won't be extending. So if it's 10 to 10:30, you need to make sure that 10:30 you're finished, especially with you dealing again with international clients. They're very sensitive with time. So you need to check on it. So ask clear questions, respond fully to any questions that you've been asked. And again, like I informed you a while ago, make sure to check the nonverbal cues, body language, facial expression, eye contact. Okay. And lastly, responsiveness, whether you're returning a phone call or sending a reply to an email, fast communicators are viewed as more effective than those who are slow to respond. I'm actually guilty with this, especially if I have a lot of on my plate. I tend to respond a bit slower than the usual. So, like what the speaker before me told you guys, you need to prioritize. So, perhaps if you have like, if you came from vacation, you were out of the office 2 or 3 days. Of course, when you open your email, sometimes it's 100, 500, or worst case scenario, it's even like 800 to 1,000 emails. If that's your, your career is what that's like. So make sure to prioritize. Diba sabi nga kanina, what's important and urgent, okay, urgent but not so important, something like that. So you need to classify and make sure that your email is, of course, organized. It will be easier for you, right? Create folders for this department. These are the people. For this department, these are the people, so that you won't be confused if you're receiving hundreds of emails in a day. Okay, so and if you won't be able to respond at once, make sure to respond with, let's say, got your email, I'll be answering this in a few minutes or something, or in a day or two, something like that. So just make sure to address that you got the email, you got the message. Okay, so just acknowledge. Or if you're close enough with the person, you can DM them. You can send them like a message. Oh, I got your email. Just give me a few more hours to respond. Something like that. Okay, so just acknowledge that you received it. Okay, so I think we can skip the bonus content because we're out of time, but I won't be dwelling on this further. I just created this just in case we finish a bit early. So you need to to improve your communication skills anyway. You need just to observe good communicators, ask a close friend or colleague for criticism, attend workshops or classes like what Jobs 180 normally offers, and your school normally schedules for you, for to help you seek opportunities to communicate. And how to communicate effectively, you need to make sure again to be clear and concise. Wag nobela ang pag-reply, so you need to be straight to the point. Practice empathy. Okay, you need to be sensitive on what will the person on the receiving end will feel if you say this. Choose your words wisely. Okay. do positive scripting. So assert yourself, but still be calm and consistent. Use and read body language. So, but before I end, of course, for employment applications, please check out our job opportunities via our Jobs 180 account. Again, the creating a resume link is free. It's really helpful. So just send us your resume link at campusrecruitmentph@gds.ey.com or check out jobs180.com/EYGDS. Okay, thank you everyone. Back to you, Sherry.
Thank you for that, Miss Yel. Miss Yel, ang daming naipong questions. Okay lang po ba mabilisan yung
Sure.
pagsagot? Ayan.
Sure,
So,
sorry. Overtime naman akong 5 minutes. Go.
Ma'am. Ano pong advice niyo sa mga fresh grads na nai-intimidate sa mga kasabayan nilang top universities sa pag apply? Ano pong masasabi niyo, ma'am?
First of all, I acknowledge yung feeling nila because it's valid. So don't feel na siguro sensitive lang ako or ang OA ko naman or something because it's valid. I understand where you're coming from. There are really, really companies that I've been a part of or I was an intern that sad to say, but in reality, they some companies have that certain, they like level one, tier one, tier two, tier three, something like that. But then again, not all. Okay, I've been part of companies as well that they don't care. Excuse me. They don't care whichever school that you graduated. They need your skill, your talent, and perhaps you can check out those companies that are like that. Okay, so what you need to do is because it's already there, we cannot do anything about it. You cannot just transfer schools and all. So focus on your strengths. Okay, know your weakness, improve them, practice your interview skills when you're part of the company. Already prove that they're wrong, right? Because I'm sure your school does more than enough to equip you with the skills that you need. 'Di ba kaya nga nandito kayo ngayon, and companies like Jobs on 80, they really aim to help you guys, to help the students, reach their maximum capacity. So um by simply attending this like right now, it means that you're really interested in improving yourself. 'Di ba? Whether it's Jobs 180, your school, YouTube Academy, or whatnot, right? So just aim to improve yourself, be confident, trust the process, know that you can do it. At hindi naman porket galing sa Big Four, automatic, okay na. Okay? So, don't feel that way. So, you have your own strengths, they have their own strengths. So, mindset lang talaga. So, you need to try and change the mindset because it will affect you. It will stress you out.
Okay. Next question. Mama, mga ano pa, lima pa. Bilisan lang po.
Sure, sure.
Okay
Go
lang
ahead.
tanong yung sa interview, yung job salary and benefits. Is it okay to
Oh,
ask?
well, actually, I strongly advise that you do so. Because just to at least know what you'll expect. Mahirap naman kasi baka mamaya 10K lang pala yung sahod mo dun. Hindi mo alam. And then you have this another company that's offering you a better package of 25K. Then syempre doon na tayo, 'di ba? You need to be practical nowadays. So, it's just that actually it's a matter of how you ask it. 'Di ba? Do'n
As
talaga
long as it's
nagma-matter 'yun, eh,
polite.
para oo, kasi baka naman mamaya 'pag
Magkano
tinanong
ka?
ka, "Magkano po yung sahod?" Oh, siyempre medyo hindi maganda, 'di ba?
Offensive.
So if oo, offensive. So o kaya sabihin mo, "Ay kasi po may offer ako sa iba, eh, mas mataas." Hindi maganda. Kasi sabihin mo ng totoo 'yun. You don't need to say it, okay? So, there's this part in the interview where they tell you that you can ask questions already or, "Do you have questions for me?" Something like that. Then you may ask. So oh, if it's okay, may I ask like the range or what will I expect in terms of package? Do we have like HMO? Is it day one or life insurance coverage like group life, something like that, so that you'll have the idea then. 'Di ba? If they'll say na, especially kung final interviewer kasi to be honest, wala sila masyadong idea diyan eh. It's the initial interviewer or the recruiter who knows the package. So they might, if they tell you na, oh, go ahead and ask your recruiter. Then that means that they don't really have the idea, hindi naman sa nagsusuplada sila. And the recruiter will tell you kasi if you pass, you fail. Then that's the time you can also ask, oh, by the way, may I ask, what's the starting salary if you don't mind? Ganon. So, depende kasi sa delivery. But I still strongly adjust that you ask so that you'll know. Especially if you're trying to apply for 3 to 5 companies of your choice. Of course, you'll be checking out magkano ba yung pamasahe ko, babawas ko dun sa sahod ko. Baka naman mataas nga, malayo naman. So, pag tinotal nyo, lugi ka pa pala. 'Di ba? Ito may free meal, ito wala. Yung mga gano'n, 'di ba? Ito day 1 yung HMO, ito upon regularization. So 'pag na-regular ko 6 months pa, eh kung importante sa'yo yung HMO, dun ka na sa day 1. Because if something happens, you need to make sure, do they offer group life insurance? Kung may sarili ka ng insurance sa sarili mo, you got from a different company, then well and good. But if it's something that's important to you, then you need to consider. 'Di ba, yun naman yung mga usual kino-consider. Or like do they have free trainings for IT tech? Do they offer free certifications? 'Di ba? So, kasi minsan malaki yung monetary pero 'pag kinompute mo yung ibang benefits, mare-realize mo mas malaki pa pala yung kabila kasi may comms allowance, may transpo allowance, food, free yung mga certificates. 'Pag tinotal mo parang lugi ka pa pala. So, you need to make sure to weigh everything before you jump in. Ayun.
Okay. Next question, ma'am. How long should applicants wait after the interview before mag-follow up? Okay na po ba yung 2 weeks? Tapos iti-text
Actually,
nila or
matagal yung 2 weeks.
via email?
Mhm. Thank you for that question, Shari. Actually, it depends kasi sa industry. If it's a BPO industry, normally, meron kasing mga iba na one-day hiring. Talaga parang end to end siya, minsan 5 hours lang alam mo na kung pasado ka. So if that's the situation, you can follow up as early as 2 days, 'di ba? Pero merong companies talaga na medyo tedious yung process. Initial interview will be this week, final interview will be next week. So minsan umaabot ng 2 months. So 2 weeks is actually for me, personally medyo matagal na 'yon. So I think you can follow up as early as a week if ganun yung process ng company. Paano ko po malalaman kung gano'n yung process? That's the time that you ask, that those are the things that you ask kapag nagtanong sa interviewer, "So do you have any questions for me? May I ask po what will be the next process?" Or normally po ba ballpark figure, kahit po estimate, how long does it take? 'Pag sinabi nila, usually pa kasi mga 2 to 3 weeks pa. So at least alam mo, sige po, I'll just follow up na lang po din my application after 3 weeks. So at least alam mo. Pero 'pag sinabi nila, "No, it will just take a few days." Oh, so at least 1 week, safe na to follow up. Pero 'wag lang yung 2 weeks nga, pero 3 times a day na follow up, 'di ba? So baka mamaya kasi ano, it will
Makulit.
give out like a different, oo, makulitan. So, follow up ka lang ta's kapag hindi sumagot talagang magfo-follow up ka ulit kasi siyempre naghihintay ka ng sagot, eh. If not text, kung di responsive sa text, try mo sa email, 'di ba? So there,
Okay.
but don't be afraid to follow up. It's your right as a candidate to do that.
Okay. So, Miss Yel, sorry we ran out of time. Ang dami ko pa sanang questions.
Sure.
So, ito po, I'll present the certificate. So, the Arellano University Central Guidance Office would like to present the certificate of attendance to Miss Mariel December Palomares for her invaluable contribution as resource speaker on the webinar entitled Marketing Me, Pre-Employment Preparation held via Facebook Live given this 24th day of March 2023, signed by Ma'am Fe Caridad Kay Coriotica, AVP for Student Personal Services. Ms. Yel, thank you again for being with us this morning. Thank you,
Thanks,
Ms. Yel.
Shari, and thank you, Miss Fe, and thank you everyone from Arellano. Bye.
So, to everyone, please don't forget to check out the EYGDS career site. It's on your screen. That's jobstraining.com/EYGDS. So now let's proceed to our final topic for this morning. We have motivation and productivity to be discussed by Ms. Janice Galan, HR Sourcing POC for University and Academic Partnerships for Sagility. Ms. Janice, can we have your deck up, please? Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Hello,
Hi, Ms. Janice.
everyone. Good
Hello. Ayan. Your
afternoon.
deck is up, so I'll leave it to
Up
it.
na siya.
And
Okay.
I'll give you around 20 minutes po to do the presentation, and I'll be back for Q&A. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Ms.
Shari.
Janice.
Medyo may ano lang ha, may naglolo ko kasi yung cam ko.
It's okay.
Pero
Pwede
makikita
rin
naman yung
cam off.
slides.
Cam off.
Okay.
Yes po. Yes,
All
you can
right.
see it.
Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Teachers and students. Hi, I'm Janice from Sagility Sourcing Team, and today I'll be discussing tips on how to stay motivated and be more productive. Hold on. Okay, so motivation, we define motivation as process that initiates, guides, and maintains goal-oriented motivation or behaviors. Or in short, motivation is your desire or willingness to do something. Okay? So, I am sure at this point you have plotted your plans na and goals after graduating in college. Okay? So, it is very important to plan ahead, guys, and focus on your dream. And most importantly, have a positive mindset at the onset. Okay? So, I list down some tips on how to stay motivated. So, number one, calendar your goal. Um it's very important to set target, guys, and be realistic as much as possible. So, whatever or kung ano man yung gusto nyong ma-achieve after graduation, whatever it is you're aiming to accomplish, uh, put it on a calendar. It can help you stay motivated and also you can track your progress. Okay? And then next would be plan for imperfection. Take note, guys, it feels great naman talaga and excited to on your goal, but again, nobody's perfect to nobody's perfect, so expect natin yung bumps or anticipate bumps along the way. Di natin may iwasan yan kasi that's part of uh, part of life. Okay, parte na siya ng buhay natin. So, again, importante yung magplano ahead of time, list down yung mga possible challenges, and gawa ka ng plan B. Okay? Set small goals, whatever your goals may be, siguro i-breakdown mo siya into smaller steps. Say, for example, yun nga, your goal is to land a job after graduation, then siguro start by creating your resume or for meron na ngayong bago eh, parang online pwede mo na siyang i-upload. Parang ito yung portfolio online na tinatawag. So medyo ano na tayo ngayon, medyo high-tech na tayo, excuse me. And then, so there, creating your resume, practice on how to answer questions during the interview. Pwede ka ding umattend ng mga webinars and other networking events. It can also help or it can also expand your connections. Okay? So, self-reward, importante to, no, guys? Honestly, masarap sa pakiramdam yung uh, makareceive ng reward. Okay? Or recognition. Okay? It increases your motivation and performance levels. Siguro just a simple reward, no? Like vacation or a short break, play online games or movie marathon, or siguro lunch out with your friends. Okay? So, importante din. So, moving on to productivity, it's very simple. It's a measure of how efficiently a person complete a certain task. So, ito yung, in short, to measure your efficiency. Well, motivation and productivity naman talaga are directly related. Because the higher the motivation level, so ganun din yung level ng productivity ng isang tao. Okay? So, tips to become more productive. Next slide. Ayan. So, number one, organize your projects or tasks, or kung may exam ka, dapat prepared ka. Okay? So, kailangan nakafocus ka kasi yung iba, minsan parang hindi nila talaga pinaghahandaan. So, number one, organization. Okay? Number two, again, calendar. Importante yung nagka-calendar tayo or may mga app ngayon na pwede mong matrack yung mga to-do list mo. So, parang downloadable naman siya. It can help kung gusto mo ng less paper. Alam mo yun? Okay. And then, yun, sorry, may typo error. Number 3, you need to limit your time on social media, especially kung oras ng work or oras ng trabaho. Minsan kasi parang, alam mo yun, lalo na ngayon, yung mga bata, kahit mga adult na din, minsan babad na babad sa online game. Siguro discipline din. Magkaroon tayo ng parang limit talaga, oras. Pag work or study, meron kang oras. And then, pag free time, yun, siguro pwede kang ah, maglaro online. And then yung number 4, get enough sleep. Kailangan makarest ka kasi pag pagod yung mind mo, ang hirap mag-isip. So, ayun. Kailangan talaga may limit tayo sa bawat task and then get enough rest. Okay. And then, get in the habit of setting a routine for homework. So, parang related din siya sa number 1 and dun sa number 3. So, lahat talaga ilimit natin. At the onset, kailangan meron kang habit from the time na tumayo ka from your bed hanggang sa matapos mo yung araw mo. Okay? So, parang routinary, parang gano'n. Yun yung habit mo daily. Para, syempre, kailangan mo rin maging focus, no? Focus ka dun kung ano yung gusto mong ma-achieve. So, from that time or sa morning, pagising mo, ano yung dapat mong tapusin, ganyan. And then, ayun, continuous lang. Number 6, again, so related siya sa number 3 natin, off your phone when studying or while working. Pero syempre may mga work na talagang required tayong gumamit ng phone. Okay? And then number 7, let's, get exercise. So minsan kasi parang, yun nga, medyo technology na tayo, nabubuhay na tayo sa medyo advanced technology tayo, nakakalimutan din natin mag-exercise. So, yun. Hold on. Next slide. Ayun. So, hope guys may natutunan kayo today. And again, before ending my discussion, I'll leave you a note. Motivation is undoubtedly the single greatest influence on how well people perform. Most productivity studies have found that motivation has stronger influence on productivity than any other factor. Si Steve McConnell pala is a CEO from the US. So, meron siyang sariling company, parang software company yung pinapatakbo niya. And meron din siyang mga textbook. So, para lang you have, inspiration. So, about motivation. Okay? And then, just to share I'd like to take this opportunity then to share our hiring. So, we're mostly hiring for nurses and you can also check our website for details, no? So, nandito sa screen yung website namin. And you can also check our Jobs 180 page. So that's jobs180.com/sagility. And our branches here in Manila, we have site in Quezon City and then we also have site in Alabang. Ayun.
Thank you for that, Ms.
Thank you
Janice.
guys. So, do you have questions po?
Yes, ma'am. Madaming question. Ayan po. So, hope you have time to answer the questions, ma'am. No?
Sorry,
Medyo
nag-on and off yung camera ko ha.
okay lang, ma'am. You can keep it turned off po para smooth po tayo.
Okay.
First question, ma'am. Kapag po job interview, paano po namin maiwasan kabahan? Kasi po ito yung nagko-cause na hindi po kami makasagot ng maayos sa questions ng interviewer. So, ano po yung tips niyo, ma'am?
Well, ano kasi, basically naman ang questions during the interview, mostly yung background mo. So, kapag nag interview kami, we have your resume, ang mga questions lang naman nandun din sa resume mo. So, aralin mo siya. Eh, kung background mo naman siya, I'm sure aware ka naman. Like, your educational attainment, your work experience, or kung wala, like, ito, yung mga students natin, for fresh graduate, ang ina-ask naman sa kanila yung experience nila sa college. So, naka-base dun yung mga questions natin. Kabahan, normal naman kasi yung kinakabahan. Ako ha, for me as a recruiter, kasi piniprep ko muna yung aplikante. So, yun, don't be nervous, ganyan. Just be yourself, as if nagkukwentuhan lang naman kami, ganyan. And after the interview din, parang binibigay ako ng feedback sa kanya.
Okay.
So, hindi naman tayo naghahanap ng fluent talaga na agents. Yun nga, like sabi ni ma'am, from EY. So, hindi naman kailangan magaling na magaling. No, basta trainable siya, willing siyang matutunan yung magiging work niya with us, and then i-help naman natin siya. No? May mga trainings naman tayo, more or less 2 to 3 months yung training nila eh. So, para ma-prepare sila dun sa magiging job nila. So, yung nervousness, okay lang yun. Kumbaga, part siya talaga, lalo na pag wala ka pang idea kung ano yung magiging work mo. Diba? So, yun, okay lang yun. Basta aralin mo lang yung background mo.
Thank you po, ma'am. Question number 2 po. Paano po namin malalaman kung yung job opening is legit? Lalo po ngayon, marami po sa Facebook nagpo-post ng job vacancies. So, kung doon po sila mag-a-apply, paano po nila malalaman na legit po yung job opening na yun?
Okay. Siguro you can check their profile, no? Kasi, marami kasing ngayon mga third party or vendor na nag-hire. Like kami, meron kaming mga accredited vendor na nag-hire for Sagility, no? Siguro alamin niyo maigi yung check niyo yung profile nung tao, tapos mag-ask kayo ng mga questions. Siguro ang tanong niyo, direct hire po ba yan? Yun, yung mga tanong. Kasi dapat ma-explain na nila kung vendor sila, we recruit for Sagility, ganyan. So, pagka direct hire naman, sasabihin nila, yes, direct hire to. I'm from Sagility, I'm part of the sourcing team or recruitment team. So, etc., etc. So, yun. Huwag kayong mahiyang magtanong kasi kayo yung kayo yung mag-a-apply. So, kailangan mag-ask kayo ng maraming questions sa kanila, and para ma-test mo din kung legit, tanongin mo lahat ng details like anong account, and yung account kasi, well, hindi siya pwedeng i-disclose. At least general idea about the position, no? So, ano ba yung mga requirements, ano po yung office nila, yung salary, confidential din siya. Pero, just to set your expectations, guys, pagka fresh graduate, syempre mababa talaga. Kasi, yung ibang company, naka-base talaga siya sa experience eh. Siguro yung starting, hindi naman siya ganun kababa. Syempre, BPO, international, kumbaga international yung kinikater natin. Hindi siya ganun kababa, pero pwede na sa mga fresh grad.
Okay. Follow-up question, ma'am. Kunyari po, si recruiter ay nagsabi sa kanyang candidate na may bayad or may hinihingi po siyang placement fee or hindi ko alam, recruitment fee or something. Does that signal that the recruiter is it's a red flag? Is it a red flag? Kapag nagkaroon po ng exchange or requirement for payment of any kind?
Yes, especially for BPO ha, hindi tayo nagko-collect talaga. Resume ang kino-collect natin para ma-process natin sila. Oo. Parang yung mga ganun agency eh. Pero I'm not sure kung meron pang mga ganun. Kasi bawal siya talaga. Wala tayong i-collect, resume lang, tapos interview na. So again, yung sinabi ni ma'am from EY, 1 day process lang tayo. So initial interview, and then final interview, tapos diretso ka sa on-site or sa office para mag-exam and then to sign the job offer. So, ganun yung process. Pag BPO, mabilis.
Okay.
Parang one day lang talaga.
Okay. Mabilis na lang, Mama.
Okay
Pag
lang.
online interview po, is it required na naka-corporate attire?
No, smart casual siguro. Basta
Smart casual.
presentable, oo. Wag
As
lang
long
naman
as it's
naka-short, oo.
presentable.
Or yung
Ayan.
mga party dress, di pwede po.
Ayan,
Smart
thank you.
casual will do. Oo.
Okay.
Tapos, bring your updated resume, tsaka ID per gate pass. So,
Okay.
pwede nang mag-walk-in ngayon kasi parang ano na tayo eh. Nagdo-normalize na tayo. So, we accept walk-ins na on-site.
Okay. Super last question na lang po, ma'am.
Okay
How would
lang.
you say that the interview went well? Paano po namin ano po yung masasabi na na-impress namin yung employer, yung interviewer namin?
Pag pumasa ka. 'Di ba? So number one naman kasi 'no, just to share na lang din kung ano talaga yung hinahanap ni BPO. Siyempre number one, communication skills kasi hindi siya talaga kagaya natin na alam mo yon, international yung clients natin. So number one yung communication skills. Again, hindi naman natin kailangan ng magaling. Basta trainable, willing kang gawin yung trabaho, then you're good to apply. Tapos, ayun, basta confident ka lang, tapos willing kang mag-risk talaga. And siguro as early as now, if you target talaga na maging part ng BPO, practice na din.
Okay.
Ganyan. Mm-mm.
So thank you for that, Ms. Janice. Would like to present this certificate. So this certificate of attendance is awarded to Ms. Janice Galan for her invaluable contribution as a resource speaker in the webinar entitled Pre-Employment Preparation held via Facebook Live given this 24th of March 2023. So signed by Ms. Feker Dadgay Coriodica, AVP for Student Personal Services. Ms. Janice, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. This morning po, ayan.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day po.
Bye. Thank
So
you.
to everyone, please be on standby as we will be releasing the job fair information and also the evaluation and attendance link. Ayan. So to tech, can we now proceed to the closing remarks, which will be delivered by Ms. Ludivina A. Alonzo, RGC, RPM, Supervising Guidance Counselor for Arellano Juan Sumulong Campus. Ayan. To tech. Okay, hang on.
Hi Chips! It is again another day of inspiring webinar to equip you with necessary information, and this time as part of preparation to your future career. I know you are all looking forward to your graduation day, especially the fourth year students here. However, the excitement that comes with it is coupled with uncertainty with regards to probability of landing your dream job. With the expertise of our guest speakers today, and of course, with the effort of jobs180.com, I am pretty sure that you learned a lot from today's talk. Let us give our guest speakers a heart react. Alright, thank you, sirs, for sharing your time with us this morning. It is quite doubtful to look at the future and remain positive in getting your most wanted career. You keep on thinking on how to develop new skills that will be more impressive to employers and make yourself marketable. You must try to present yourself in the best way possible. With the topics that are discussed by our speakers, I would like to step down to self-awareness. Knowing what you are working toward is the ultimate motivating factor to move forward to your goal. It will indeed lead your actions toward a career that will somehow satisfy you and make you happy while earning. When you accurately know your goals, your actions will be aligned to support reaching these goals. Responsibility, self discipline, and accountability will come naturally since you love what you are doing. Be hopeful and remember that acting on your dreams every day is like planting seeds every day. You won't see them ready for harvest in a moment. It takes time for that seed to grow and be ripe for harvest. So, Chips, this is Miss Ludi saying, stay focused and God bless us all.
Thank you for that, Miss Ludi. So now may we remind everyone of the following dates. So annual job fair for all graduating college students will start on April 12. So that is for the following campuses. So that's AU Main and AU Jose Abad campus on April 12. And on April 13, that's AU Pasig, AU Plaridel, and AU Jose Rizal. The event will start at 1 to 4 p.m. Ayan, for April 12 and April 13. By May 12, that would be the reading of honors for all academic awardees of school year 2021 and to 2022 and second semester, and school year 2022 and 2023 first semester. Ayan. So please be advised of the dates. So now the guidance office, the central guidance office prepared a short video before we release the evaluation link. Thank you for that. The video was brought to you by the Central Guidance Office. So thank you so much for being with us, and see you on April 12 and 13. The registration is at schools.jobs20.com/AQ. So with that, the QR code is on your screen, so this will be the basis of your attendance today. So please don't forget to fill in the forms. Under this one is under the control of the Central Guidance Office. So thank you so much, everyone. Please tag your friends so they don't miss out the April 12 and 13 activity. So thank you all and have a great afternoon. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you, thank you.
Arellano, pamantasan namin, mahal naming alma mater. Anay sa'yo, mga puso namin, lagi ka namin pagmamahalin. Ikaw ang aming ng malayang karunungan o pamantasan naming mahal. Arellano University, Arellano, aming pamantasan, lingkod na tapat ng bayan. Ang tulad sa amin ay bigay, sa buhay ay gagamitin tanglaw. Sa Diyos ang